Why Aussie house prices keep rising, the real reason nobody's talking about. Hey everyone, Scott here. Now I've made a lot of videos on why house prices keep rising. This year, next year, and probably the year after that. And you've seen it everywhere. By now you're probably thinking, yeah, high demand, low supply, we get it. I get it too. I've said it 1,000 times myself. But today I want to dig into the reasons no one is talking about. So stick with me because I'm going to walk you through the hidden drivers of this market and stuff that's pushing prices higher while everyone's distracted by the obvious headlines. Massive migration, but it's the migration of the wrong kind. So everyone keeps saying it's migration numbers, and yet we've had a record wave of people come in. But here's the question nobody's asking. Who are these people? Over the last decade, about 4.5 million migrants came to Australia, and get this, 1.6 million of them were international students. That's by far the biggest slice of the pie. Now, the Treasury used to assume only about 16% of them stayed. Reality check, it's over 40%. That means hundreds of thousands of people who came here to study are now staying here, renting first, then buying. So we're importing demand, but we're not importing the people who actually build the homes we need. See, back in the day, post-war migration, waves from the UK, Ireland, Europe, they brought in sparkies, brickies, plumbers, carpenters. That's how we built suburbs fast. Now, most of our new arrivals come from countries like India and China, whose trade qualifications we don't even recognize. They're studying business, IT, and accounting, not construction. So the construction workforce, it's been basically flat for 20 years while population keeps climbing. And this is why every single builder, every single developer I talk to says the same thing. We cannot find people to pour the slabs, to frame the houses, to wire the units. More people needing homes, fewer people to build them. That's not a recipe for balance, it's actually a pressure cooker. We open the doors for education and opportunity, and in the process, we quietly set up one of the biggest housing shortages in our history. This has come down to poor planning. I'm not saying that we don't need the highly skilled people from India and China. We need these people. They're highly skilled in engineering, IT, software. If we've got any chance of an advanced community, we need these wonderful, hardworking people from these incredible countries. But where are our tradespeople? Where are our construction people? This has been left out of the planning process. The 5% deposit scheme, this was massive fuel on an already raging fire. We all know about the 5% deposit scheme. It's been everywhere. The news, social media, politicians patting themselves on the back. And honestly, I've talked about it a million times myself. But now we're 1 month in, the numbers are here. And for the first time, we've actually got the data that shows just how reckless this thing really is. And when you see the numbers, you'll understand the kind of demand that's flooding through because of it. So here it is. In just the first month of this expanded scheme, 1 in 10 homes sold across Australia were purchased using it. That is huge. And applications from first home buyers up almost 40% nationwide since October. That's a huge jump in demand in a market with not enough supply. This comes straight from the Loan Market Group, the country's biggest mortgage aggregator. Now let that sink in. Tens of thousands of buyers who were planning to buy next year, or maybe the year after, have been pulled straight into the market right now. They're all chasing the same small pool of property listings. But when everyone can suddenly get in at once, that help actually fuels a bidding war. Even the government's own numbers prove it. In October, national prices jumped 1.1%. That's 1.1% in a month, not in a whole year. And this is the fastest rise over 2 years we've seen in a single month. That's not a coincidence. The driver is this 5% deposit scheme. That's what happens when you throw easy credit onto a market already starved of homes and already starved of supply. So while the government says it's helping people get their foot in the door, what it is actually doing is pushing the door further away for everyone else, because every time you make it easier to borrow, the price of the entry ticket just goes up. So yes, it helped the people that are ready to buy today, but what about first-time buyers that want to buy next year, the year after that? People were helped today, which just drove property prices higher, making it harder for future home buyers. The bank of mum and dad. This is the quiet power behind the boom. Actually, one of the top financiers in the current market. We've all heard about it, okay? A few lucky ones getting helping hand from their parents to buy a good house. Good for them. Honestly, I wish everyone could do that. But I'll tell you something about it that most people don't know. The Bank of Mum and Dad is now Australia's 9th largest lender. Let that sink in. It's bigger than a lot of actual banks. And we finally have the data showing just how much it's reshaping the market. Around 17% of first home buyers are now leaning on family support. That's roughly 20,000 buyers every year getting deposits they didn't have to save for. Parents are tapping the equity in their already existing properties that they already own and handing it over to children as a loan, but in most cases, they don't need to pay that back. This is equity being built during the last boom, being handed on to their children, and they're using it to help their kids, and fair enough. So we've got two generations leveraging the same property wealth to chase the same growth. And here's the part nobody's really talking about. These parents aren't just gifting money, they're reborrowing against their homes. They're increasing their own debt so their kids can take on theirs. It's a feedback loop. More equity turned into more buying power, which pushes prices higher, which creates even more equity. It's not affordability, it's inheritance with a mortgage attached. Now combine that with the 5% deposit scheme we just talked about. You've got one wave of buyers funded by government guarantees, and you've got another wave funded by family wealth. That's two separate pipelines of demand, both hitting the market at the same time. So who actually misses out in this scenario? The people without help from mom and dad and actually don't have enough money to get into the market today, or the borrowing capacity to get in the market today, or those that want to buy in a market end of this year, next year, when prices have gone up by so much. These are the people which are disadvantaged. No family help, no scheme, no head start. They're the ones being stuck renting longer while prices keep climbing. Economists call it a two-track market, the haves and the have-nots, and it's becoming clearer every month. So when you see a 25-year-old win an auction and you're thinking, how on earth did they afford that? The answer is simple. They got help from mom and dad. The supply shortage and planning gridlock. This is the wall we all keep hitting. All right, another big reason, and probably the one we all agree on, supply shortage. Okay, we all know there aren't enough homes in the market. Everyone's been talking about it, and we've heard the promise. The government will build 1.2 million homes by 2029. It sounds great on paper, but let me tell you what the Housing Industry Association is actually saying, because no one in Canberra is talking about this. Even with builders lifting activity by about 11% this year, we're still going to miss that target by nearly 200,000 homes. That's 200,000 families who were told they'd have a roof over their heads and will not. So it's not that we're not building, it's that we're building the wrong stuff and nowhere near fast enough. Most of the growth right now is in detached houses way out on the fringes, while the homes we actually need, townhouses and apartments near jobs, transport and lifestyle hubs, are still miles behind. In some corridors, land releases have halved in just a few years. And here's the part that really gets me. The government's so-called big fix, the 10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, the one they said would solve affordability, this has completely failed. They promised 40,000 affordable homes. 4 years later, they've delivered only about 500. 500, not 40,000. And now there is an inquiry digging into this and exposing this. They're being accused of spinning the numbers, taking credit for homes that were already built by private developers. So while politicians keep announcing new housing targets, the pipeline's shrinking. Approvals are slowing, the costs are actually blowing out. This isn't a shortage, it is a cover-up. It's one of the biggest reasons prices won't stop rising, the compounding effect and what it means for you. Okay, so when you pull all of these things together, record high migration, the tradie drought, the government's 5% deposit scheme, the bank of mum and dad pouring in equity, you realize this isn't one problem, it's 5 problems feeding each other. Every policy, every incentive, every migration wave, they all point one way, up. The data's proving it right now. Ray White's latest numbers show that nationally, values are up 10.6% year on year. Perth is actually up 14.8, Brisbane 12.5, Adelaide 10.8. Even units are catching up because houses have blown past what most people can afford. So all of that demand is now starting to shift to the apartment market. If we keep running at roughly 1% a month, that's double-digit growth locked in for another year, maybe even more. So yes, the headlines are right. Prices are not slowing. But the real story is why they're not slowing, because underneath every record high headline, there's a system quietly designed to keep prices rising. So let me know what you think. Do you honestly see this system ever being corrected? Who can fix this? Because these issues are so fundamental, I just don't see any real change coming in the next year or two. So guys, this is your daily property update, your 3 to 6 minute update every single day so that you can be a property insider, get the insights on the market here at my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button so you never miss your daily property update. I'd love to know what you think about today's video or any topic on property. Drop a comment below. Take care, everyone.